Hey, what's up YouTube? Donovan the Smartphone Guy here with my first impressions video of the Huawei Honor 6X. So I did literally just get this today. I've had it in hand for about 4 or 5 hours now, and you can see I have the silver version. It is also available in gold and I believe dark gray or a space grayish color. And so this is the silver version. And so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the specs first of all, and we'll do some comparisons to like the Honor 8. I do also have the Blade V8 Pro coming very soon from ZTE. So once that comes, I'll be doing some comparisons of the two phones because they're right around that same price point. So this is $249 regular, but Honor is doing some flash sales on their website for $199, so you can get $50 off. So that's a pretty compelling price for this phone, and we'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about it. So far, very first impressions, but we'll get into that as we get into this video. So let's talk about, first of all, the specs. So you can see here it's running Android Marshmallow 6.0, and it's supposed to get Nougat in Q2 is what they say, and EMUI right now is at 4.1, and again that's going to be upgraded to 5.0, which will be nice because EMUI 4.1 has a very iPhone feeling to it, so we'll see that as we get into it. So 5.5-inch screen, 1080p. It's running the Kirin 655 octa-core processor, which is a huge step up from the Honor 5X, which had a definitely performing processor. It wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't the fastest processor ever. So it has 32 gigs of onboard storage, which is an upgrade as well from 16 in the 5X. It has micro SD card expansion, 3 gigs of RAM. Again, that's an upgrade. We have dual cameras in the back and some pretty cool settings you can mess with that. So 12 megapixel here and 2 megapixel down here. So some pretty cool aperture settings. We'll jump into that in a little bit. So that's 0.95 aperture, which is pretty sweet. 1080p video. One thing I will mention is that this will only shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second, whereas the Honor 8 will shoot at 60 frames per second at 1080p with the rear cameras there. So this one has an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, of course Wi-Fi connectivity, but it doesn't have 5 gigahertz, something worth mentioning. In terms of LTE, one thing I noticed and one reason I almost didn't get this is because I didn't see anywhere that it has band 17, which is the primary band for AT&T, Cricket, Net 10 in my area. And I want to point out though that even though supposedly, I don't know if it doesn't have band 17, but when I look at it, I do actually have 4G LTE, perfect signal. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I have 4G LTE, and that's all I care about. So global bands, that's for the different version. It does have micro USB for charging, so that's kind of old school. I'm not sure why they didn't go with Type-C. Seems like that's kind of outdated now, so with the micro USB, but it is what it is. Battery, 3340 milliamp hour battery, which so far I will say just from initial impressions seems to be really good. The fingerprint sensor, so I'm going to stop there. So you can see this gray, gold, and silver, the colors that are available, but let's take a look at that fingerprint sensor real quick. And so this is the Honor 8, very fast fingerprint sensor. Honor 6X, 1, 2, 3, and you can see that they're both very snappy, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, okay, so that one, the Honor 8 was a little faster. But yeah, they're both very snappy. I'm going to switch hands because, yeah, so I definitely use my left hand to open it up a lot more, so it's probably going to be a little bit more. All right, so either way, it's a very fast fingerprint sensor, which if you use the Honor 8, you know how fast that one is. This one seems to be just as fast. One thing that is missing with the fingerprint sensor, though, is that with the Honor 8, you have these options of pressing it and getting like flashlight. So that's a really cool feature that I liked that's not available on the 6X. It does still have some of the gestures though, so like I can pull it down, go up and down, and pull down my notification shade, which is kind of cool. So that's still available in the gallery. You can still scroll through the gallery by swiping across the fingerprint sensor. So that's not something I really ever used, but it is an option that's available as well. So in terms of build quality, obviously you can see that the build is very nice. The one thing I think that's a nice upgrade with this one is that it is more rounded than the Honor 5X. So the ergonomics of it are a little bit better in my opinion than they were with the Honor 5X. In the box, I should also mention this since this is kind of an unboxing, not really, but this is more of a first impressions video. So in the box, basically all you're getting, you get a SIM card removal, and then you also get your charging brick with the Type-C. And the charging brick is a fast charger. It is the 2 amp charger that you get, same thing that you get with the Honor 8, so something worth mentioning, I guess. And yeah, so some of the other hardware that I should mention, so it does have a headphone jack, so that's cool. We do have noise canceling microphone down there. This is a microphone over here and speaker. Nope, I said that backwards. So this is the microphone, this is the speaker. And let's go ahead and take a listen to that speaker because it's worth mentioning that my first impression of the speaker is that it's not good. So if you had the Honor 8, one of the few knocks on this phone is the speaker on the bottom. And I think it's going to be one of the big knocks that you'll hear on this phone as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play a song. This is not royalty free, so I'm going to go ahead and just play it for just a second here. That's highest volume. Let's skip it ahead a little bit. Whoops. All right, so I paused it there. That's firing directly at it, my microphone. All right, so my first impressions of the speaker is that if this one's not great, this one's not any better. Maybe even worse. I don't know. It's not a great speaker. It's not like it's quiet. It's just that it just doesn't sound all that great. A bit on the tinny side. So just it's not very clear either. So that's definitely Honor. If you're listening, that's something that you need to improve is your speakers. So battery life, let's talk about battery life for just a second. Obviously, this is for first impressions, but you can see here I'm at, what, like 36% there. And when I got it out of the box, and I haven't charged it at all yet, it was at 61%, so we're talking 25% usage up to this point. So let's go ahead and go into the settings just so you can see. And just for the record, getting to the battery screen on time is kind of like impossible with this thing. So you go into advanced settings, you go to battery manager, and then you jump down here to consumption level. There's a lot of steps to get to this battery life, by the way. And then you have to go to hardware, and then there's screen on time. All right, so there it is. So I'm at an hour and 48 minutes so far with 25% usage. And again, I haven't charged this literally at all yet since I've got it. And I got it at 61%, and that's downloading a crap ton of apps. So I basically put all of my apps on there. Notice there is no app drawer. I will be throwing on, just like I did with this one, they're running the exact same operating system, EMUI 4.1. And with this one, I'm using, what am I using? I'm using Nova Launcher. It's always what I use. And so this is on Nova Launcher as well. So, or it will be on Nova Launcher very soon. But anyways, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of EMUI 4.1. So definitely will be using Nova Launcher very soon. Let's jump into the camera because I want to show you just some things that are cool about it. So right now I already have it set at wide aperture. And so the wide aperture actually is how you get those cool features with the dual cameras. So I'm going to go ahead and snap that picture and come down here. And it has to be something relatively close to you. And what you can do is use this aperture here. And kind of cool. So what you're doing is refocusing it, and then you can pull it in. And what it does is it blurs the background out. So notice it blurred kind of all that stuff, and it focused where I had that focusing at. So let's go ahead and save that real quick. And then I want to show you some pictures that I've already took with this, just to kind of show you what that effect looks like. So there's the same picture. There's a picture of my daughter. These are all very dark. So this is front-facing camera. Now, one thing I'll mention is that these are going from beauty. So they have the front-facing camera has beauty mode. So this is like without the beauty mode turned on at the lowest setting. And this is what it's turning on a little bit higher, and then even higher. And so what it does is it basically just kind of takes out any kind of like, issues that you have maybe in your face. So with your skin, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you, again, this is another one that I took wide angle aperture. And so what it does is I can focus here, I can pull that out of that aperture, and so you see everything kind of comes into focus, but then when I pull it back up, notice that the sheep's in focus and everything else kind of goes out of focus. And you can move that if you want. You can move that over here. So now the sheep's out of focus, or I can move it on that cow back there, and that's in focus and everything else is kind of out of focus. So what it allows you to do basically is to decide what you want in focus and what you don't want. So that's kind of cool. The camera so far seems okay. It doesn't seem fantastic. I would say not as good as the Honor 8 so far. But in terms of speed, I haven't noticed a huge difference. And one other thing I'll mention real quick is in terms of the screen itself, I showed my wife a picture, and let's see if I can get that back up on here. So I have this Zedge wallpaper, and I had it up here as well. So what I was telling my wife, or what I noticed, is that I couldn't really tell a huge difference between these two. So let's make sure I have them both set at the same brightness here. So I'm going to turn this one all the way up, hopefully. Turn it all the way up and get that out of there, and then turn this one all the way up as well. So you can see that really, to me, there is no difference between the brightness. So in terms of screen quality, to me, they seem pretty much about the same. I'm guessing they're really actually the same screen, just one's larger than the other. This one actually feels just a little bit brighter to me when I look at it in person. So, but in terms of speed, so far it seems pretty good. Gaming has been okay. I haven't noticed any frame drops or anything like that. So this is the game I was playing earlier, Hill Climb Racing, and everything went really well with that. But anyways, so I know I'm probably missing something that you might have a question about. So if there's anything I'm missing in this video, just go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video with a lot more coverage on the Honor 6X. Thanks for watching. Peace.